Without any further ado, give your next 10 minutes attention to Mr. Oliver Embry. Oliver, come on. Thanks, man.
Just so you know, we're matching, so I've got this one. Thank you all for taking the time. And we won't be able to have Q&A at the end, but Matt Burton and Jamal Matthews from our account teams are over here to my right and to your back left. We'll be happy to answer any questions as we go forward. And Dax as well, probably from a Neiman Marcus standpoint. Hopefully you have some good things to say about our relationship. Just wanted to kind of outline sort of our mission today, like going to talk through like how you can leverage and how brands can leverage connected TV to address any marketing opportunity on the calendar. And then what our technology and capabilities are that enable us to do this. And just for anyone, just to give a little bit of insight, Mountain is a connected television ad technology company that has a self-service platform that enables us to turn every streaming TV into a direct response channel. We've called it Performance TV. So it's self-service, it's a value add for brands, large Fortune 500 brands to small and medium-sized brands as well, in terms of our ability to create this self-service platform. And just a little bit about me, and I was excited to be here. I come from the retail world. I ran retail strategy for Adidas on both their university partnerships team as well as on their direct-to-consumer team in terms of driving online to offline traffic to our stores. And it's kind of with that empathy I came over to Mountain. I run all of our product innovation, so new ad formats, what are some new viewing environments where we could take our solution outside of the home? How could we potentially like reslice the apple of our existing products to make it more salient for certain verticals? I'll give just a little anecdote. I came in and was trying to understand the platform and what it did and what the opportunities were. And we have a CRM, first-party CRM integration capabilities where we can take email listservs and be able to upload them to create unique campaigns based off of your audience data. And I said, I helped launch Adidas's Creators Club program, where we had 6 different tiers of loyalty, 6 different programs. And I said, why don't we go out and say that to consumer-facing brands that we have a platform that enables you to take your loyalty program that you've invested millions and millions of dollars in and create segmented campaigns to keep people within those tiers, upsell them on maybe new opportunities to reach from silver to gold and things like that. So that's sort of a third area of my work in terms of looking at our product and how do we make it make more sense for consumer-facing brands in certain high-value verticals. And yeah, just wanted to kind of share a little bit of stats. So when it comes to kind of linear TV versus connected TV, it shows that research shows that linear TV ads weekly ROI was negative for more than 80% of products. This is a stat from late last year, and our campaigns are the opposite. So the longer they run, the greater they perform. And we're trying to get our brands, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, into an always-on approach. 5 years ago, you would never have thought to be on linear TV to have an always-on approach that's similar to what you do with Google or similar to what you do with Facebook would make sense, because from a small brand side, that seems really hard and unattainable to kind of cast a wide net across the US and be able to have always on TV. And from a large brand side, it seems cumbersome and be able to kind of manage that in relation to some of your other channels just seems like a challenge. And it's a high impact medium TV. We all look at what Coinbase was able to do in the Super Bowl, and if you're able to merge sort of like, as I say, like the high impact, high value side of TV with some of our emerging technologies to create these journeys. There's obviously there's greater balls of clay in terms of from a creative side, but also from a tech side to be able to develop those journeys that drive performance, drive conversion that we're looking to establish. As I mentioned, connected TV is precise and measurable. It removes some of the waste and complexity. I think back, 5 years ago. A small brand that maybe had a large audience, but a small budget would be impossible for them to advertise on TV. And so for us, being able to kind of build this, sort of audience-first approach to what you're doing, and from a TV first side. So all of our ads are what we say are on living room quality TV. So the first touch with your customer on a prospecting or a retargeting side is always going to be with this TV ad, and then we're able to kind of create seamless jerseys based on display and obviously campaigns that you're familiar with. But it's always going to be that first high impact approach that will that we see as drive great performance. Has kind of been the backbone of our performance TV model that I mentioned prior. And similarly, CTV offers, agility and control. As you said, what we're able to do is we're creating this ball of clay that enables advertisers to, it's completely self-service. So, whether it's a marketer, working in-house with a brand, or you're part of an external agency working with us, we're making this, turning into a nimble, living, breathing organism. 2 to 3 years ago, if you're looking at linear TV, you're putting buys in certain markets, and you're having creative that will sit there, even if it's not performing well. And so, be able to think about this in the self-service nature allows brands to read and react to moments, whether they're kind of core to them or maybe more macro moments within, entire sort of cultural framework. And what makes this all possible? Sort of our bread and butter around, as I mentioned, so all the sort of 3 pillars. Audience first targeting. So your ads are always going to be based. There's not going to be a wasted spend in terms of how you're engaging with folks who are on TV or who started viewing TV. Ability, as I said, to have agile creative management within that. We're able to run multiple creatives at once that are you're able to upload and adjust within a matter of 24 hours. And as I said, the value here is that, and I think prior times, as we mentioned, it makes sense for it to, if you're able to have it as always on and create it, and treat it similarly to what you see with Google and Facebook, you're able to, kind of the longer the campaign runs, the more we're able to optimize against it. Obviously, with we can adjust sort of audiences, we can adjust spends based on certain times of the year, certain day parts. But being able to have that statistical significant amount of time and information going, it allows this to be perform better and be possible. And I just wanted to kind of bring up, this is something that we've had in the news a little bit, that kind of is the backbone behind it all, is our new service called Creative as a Subscription. You might have seen some of the sort of Peloton response ads to what had happened in Sex and the City. And it was actually kind of an anecdote. We were all together we work for a company with no office, and we were at an all-company offsite. And our sort of creative agency behind this, called Maximum Effort, Ryan Reynolds' creative agency, we noticed sort of on the Saturday we were all supposed to be there until Saturday, they all kind of disappeared. And then we all get home, and a day later, they had launched this sort of response ad for Peloton into what had happened in Sex and the City. And that was because they were our first partner who had signed into sort of our creative as a subscription model, that really showed like the nimbleness to be able to react to moments, react to, as you said, cultural moments, maybe it's sport moments, maybe it's event moments across the board. Allowed this to be possible. There wasn't any negotiations around production fees, talent fees, this, that, and the other. And we really think this is powerful because it takes our ability and wanting to be always on and kind of have an always on approach, and actually bring some creative juices to it. Not only is it just it wouldn't make sense to kind of tell you that you should have TV campaigns being always on if you're not able to refresh creative or be able to react to these moments. So we've had a number of other customers who've come on board since then, but we really feel like this is a backbone to allowing us to be that performance TV model and encourage customers to be always on and flex in and out of moments that make sense to them. But really excited with what creative as CAS is able to do. And I'll mention we acquired a company called QuickFrame that I will say is sort of like a 99 Designs for video production. And so if Maximum Effort is sort of the creative spirit and creative juices behind what we do at Mountain, QuickFrame is the ability for us to actually bring this to life and to actually act upon for a brand and be able to say, hey, you're running with Mountain. We're going to use your production platform to actually bring these opportunities to life, not just for brands the size of Peloton, but for brands big and small, and really being the driving force behind those two, sort of that vertical integration and bringing creative and media together in a more meaningful way. And yeah, just kind of wanted to kind of speak to this in terms of holidays, which is obviously kind of a big tentpole moment for all, and how TV can become that nimble medium. I remember my time at Adidas, and you'd have our holiday calendar would be dotted with Cyber Monday, Black Friday, days in between, sales in between. And a lot, easy to do on your own website when maybe you're adjusting things and changing things. But, prior to now, would be a real challenge in terms of being able to make sure you have consistency in the marketplace when it comes to TV and be able to call to action. So, I give the example that we were able to have, Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday, and then when a retailer, their shipping window and fulfillment window ended, we were able to turn on gift card creative that was able to drive customers to the gift cards so that we could actually fulfill gifts based on the holidays, given all the supply chain challenges were there. So being able to kind of nimbly adjust that in a large medium like TV wasn't at all possible before we had this sort of self-service platform that brought this to life. And just one last thing, I wanted to bring this up, but the ability to be always on. As I mentioned, for small brands, it would never have made sense to have always on TV 4 or 5 years ago just because of cost and spend and yield reduction. And from a large brand side, it would be difficult to kind of manage and difficult to be able to have the right and consistent messaging, knowing how it is important for large brands, for brands of large sizes. So. Just this idea that we can use our sort of this vertical integration of creative to make sure that the information is fresh so that you can be always on, and then use our data and sort of the statistical significance that you'd have of making sure that campaigns are running for a while and be able to optimize against them and not start from a standing stop is what we're trying to drive with Performance TV and with our performance platform that we really have shown and will continue to show drives great success for our branded partners. And I didn't say I don't have Q&A, but if you want to come find us over in the corner, happy to answer any questions for anybody and really appreciate the time.
Thank you.